Hello everyone, it's NerdGasm, and welcome to my ranking of the top 10 greatest villains of the Man of Steel, Superman. Now, contrary to what many people may tell you, Superman actually has a pretty stellar roster of enemies. It was really challenging narrowing my choices down to just 10 for this video, and I guarantee a lot of you might not agree with my ordering for some of these. There were a few characters I really wanted to include on this list, but they simply didn't make the final cut for a variety of reasons. Feel free to leave your own lists in the comment section down below, but like always, keep in mind everyone has different tastes and preferences when it comes to these kinds of characters. It's okay to have different opinions. Alright, starting off the list with Winslow Schott, the Toyman. He's a criminal who specializes in robotics and creates big and small ones resembling children's toys. Though he and his creations aren't the most intimidating and deadly for the Man of Steel, I do enjoy the concept behind this character and the unique and interesting perspectives some of the stories featuring him include. Next up at number 9 is Mr. Mxyzptlk, a reality-warping imp from the 5th dimension who gets pleasure out of annoying and tormenting the Man of Steel using his powers. He can only be stopped by tricking him into saying his own name backwards, Keltip, which sends him back to the 5th dimension for at least 90 days. More often than not, Mxyzptlk is fairly harmless, but all this trickery is just a game to him, one he is constantly having to up after each loss he suffers, and sometimes that means those closest to Superman, even the entire city of Metropolis, can get caught in the crossfire. I love Mxyzptlk as a character. His abilities know no boundaries, but he is just a joke villain at the end of the day. I don't enjoy him as much as a few others in Superman's Rogues Gallery. Moving on to number 8 with Mxyzptlk, a powerful psychokinetic who debuted in issue number 775 of Action Comics from March of 2001, entitled What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way, considered to be one of the best Superman stories ever published. Mxyzptlk leads a group of metahuman vigilantes known as the Elite, who implement brutal tactics with their form of heroism. Black used to love superheroes as a kid, but views them as cowards now, hiding behind their masks. He feels that killing criminals is the only way to truly cleanse the world of evil and protect the innocent. Mxyzptlk finds himself at odds with Superman for obvious reasons. Black has become no different than the criminals he and his team murder, and while he may not look that threatening from a physical perspective, he can hold his own against Superman with his telekinetic and telepathic powers, at one point making the hero suffer a stroke by manipulating the capillaries in his head. He also stopped Kal-El's heat vision in its tracks and used it to light his cigarette. And of course, he has attacked Superman's emotions as well, taking over the mind of Superman's son, John Kent, Superboy, with this strange dark substance, turning him, in Black's eyes, into a better hero than his father ever was, one willing to end the lives of criminals. Next up at number 7 is Cyborg Superman, a character that had debuted during the events of the Reign of the Superman story arc, part of the much larger Death and Return of Superman storyline from the 1990s I had recently reviewed on the channel. Cyborg Superman was a crew member of a LexCorp space shuttle, Excalibur, named Hank Henshaw. There had been a crash, the entire crew had been exposed to radiation, and basically all of them died as a result. Henshaw had blamed Superman for what had happened to his crew and for not saving them, and after transferring his mind into LexCorp's mainframe and then into Superman's birthing matrix that had transported Kal-El to Earth when he was a baby, Henshaw would create a new body for himself, identical to that of Superman's, with cybernetic implants of course, all in an effort to get revenge on Superman and destroy his public image following his death at the hands of Doomsday. Moving on to number 6 with Doomsday, a genetically engineered prehistoric monster from the planet Krypton. It has constantly increasing levels of strength and is virtually invulnerable, able to evolve and adapt to the damage it sustains, as well as the harsh environments it finds itself in. Doomsday's claim to fame is being the one opponent powerful enough to seemingly kill the Man of Steel, though I really enjoy this villain and the death of Superman's story is pretty decent for what it's worth. The character has never been able to really match the heights of his debut, and probably never will again. Go ask Bane, he knows what I'm talking about. Next up at number 5 is Drew Zod, General Zod, or simply just Zod, a former military general of the Kryptonian army who had survived the destruction of the planet due to being in exile for treason in the Phantom Zone. He is a dark element of Superman's past, or more accurately, his family's past, who has survived all these years in order to seek revenge on the son of Jor-El. If you'd like more information on his motivations, as well as his history throughout comics, check out my breakdown on him I did a few years back. At number 4, we have Bizarro, created by writer Otto Binder and artist George Papp, to be a twisted mirror image of Superman. He's the opposite of the Man of Steel in every way, right down to his powers, possessing flame breath instead of freeze breath, and freeze vision instead of heat vision. Bizarro's appearance resembles that of Frankenstein's monster a little bit, and much like that character, he is a misunderstood creature who you feel sympathy for. He has good intentions, but a warped sense of right and wrong, believing hurting and killing people is actually saving them. Moving on to number 3, we have the mighty Darkseid, the tyrannical ruler of the planet Apocalypse. I'm going to keep this brief because I did an in-depth breakdown of this character a few months back when Zack Snyder's Justice League was released, not to mention my analysis of the Rock of Ages storyline as well, featuring Darkseid as its central villain, so I feel like I have spoken enough about him, at least for a while. But anyways, a few of you out there might be upset that he isn't in my number 1 spot. While Darkseid is the strongest villain Superman has ever fought, pound for pound, I do think a couple other antagonists work better from a narrative perspective within the Man of Steel's stories. I consider Darkseid to be a more effective villain for the entirety of the Justice League, rather than just Superman by himself, but that's just me. Next up at number 2 is the extraterrestrial cyborg named Brainiac, who possesses what has been defined as a 12th level intelligence, basically twice as intelligent as all the most brilliant minds on present-day Earth combined. Brainiac is a being who values knowledge, and using his special shrinking technology housed in his skull-shaped spaceship, has shrunk various cities from across the universe to collect the knowledge they contain. He will also capture living creatures from the planets he visits as well, to perform examinations on them using his army of robots. In some incarnations of the character, he has been depicted as the one responsible for destroying Superman's home planet of Krypton, after having shrunken and collected its capital city of Kandor. Brainiac's strength and durability is also on par with Superman's, so if the two do end up clashing, which they have several times throughout the years, then it's not just going to be a walk in the park for the old Suitmeister. And at number 1, as the greatest villain of Superman, I had to go with Alexander Lex Luthor. He's been an enemy of the Man of Steel since the very beginning, basically. He's an egotistical, power-hungry businessman, the CEO of LexCorp, one of the largest multinational corporations on the planet. Luthor wants nothing more than to rid the world of Superman, viewing him as a threat to humanity on a superficial level, but on a deeper one is jealous of the power, popularity, and influence the hero possesses. Luthor has an entirely different form of power at his disposal than Superman, something called money. With it, he can make someone as strong as Superman feel powerless by comparison. Luthor is able to surround himself with an invisible barrier essentially, using various underhanded tactics, manipulation, even hiding behind laws and politics in order to get his way and avoid Superman's wrath as much as possible. He has been known to trade blows with the hero on occasion though, using a form of souped-up warsuit of his own creation to help even the odds against the Kryptonian. And there we go, another villain list in the books. Like I had mentioned at the start of this video, I enjoy quite a lot of Superman villains, and it was really difficult for me to narrow it down to just 10 choices. But the smaller you make a ranking, the stronger and more accurate it becomes in the end. In terms of Superman villains, these are the best of the best in my personal opinion. These are the ones I enjoy the most within his stories. Are there any characters I might have missed, ones you would have included? Make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. I want to thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, then think about hitting that subscribe button and bell icon to be notified of all the future content I release on my channel. I do top 10s, top 5s, comic reviews, game reviews, a bunch of different stuff. Take care, stay nerdy, and I will see you all in the next one.